Yeah, I remember my better half. She was like, when I started doing this carnivore thing, she was, "How long are you going to do that for?" And I said, "Well, maybe I think I'm going to do it for a year." And now I'm going into my 7th year of this stuff, and she's totally on board. I mean, she is like completely like 98%. Like over time, she realized that works really well for her as well, and it just seems to work well for a lot of people. Do you have any downsides? I mean, you said the first 5 weeks was kind of a struggle, but beyond that, have you noticed any downsides to eating a bunch of meat and eggs and stuff like that?
Not really. I mean, like, yeah, every once in a while, like I said, I do need to do a carb up because I feel maybe a little bit of lack of energy. But that might not necessarily be to do 100% with the diet. That could also be due to intense training where you're going to feel a little bit run down at any point in time. Yeah, I'd say not really many downsides. And then, to your point earlier, I thought I'd bring up I'm not really needing like carbs before a workout like I do the maple syrup. I've tried without it as well, and I've had amazing workouts without it. I just find sometimes it gives me that little boost. But I just wanted to say to anyone listening out there, it's not necessary if you don't want to do it. It's just something I found success with, but I've had success without it.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Like I said, I'm not gonna knock somebody that's having success with something. And how do you feel? I mean, how often are you able to train? Do you notice any difference in recovery? I can tell personally, I recover better, and I'm an old guy, and it's one of those things a lot of people tell you when you get older, you need to slow it down, you need more recovery days, and I've not found that to be true for me. So I don't know. Do you notice a difference in your ability to recover, your inflammation, your swelling, your joint pain, your muscle aches now prior to then? I mean, you're still pretty young, so it may be hard to really say that, but.
The biggest thing with recovery for me is, making sure I get, a proper amount of protein and calories and as well as sleep. If I'm not sleeping, that's where my recovery really starts to fail. It's kind of hard to compare back when, I was eating and training for football because the training was so different, 4, 5, 6 days a week sometimes in the gym, felt I needed the carbohydrates. And to be honest, pretty sure I did need them back then. Can't ever 100% say since I didn't try eating this way back then, but I do think I did need them. But nowadays I do 3 full body, super intense workouts per week. I could do more, but I do want to devote time to my family and other interests of life. So yeah, I do 3 pretty intense workouts per week where I do need that time, that sleep, that protein and those calories to recover, given I'm hitting my whole body with very heavy weights.
Do you notice any outside of like athletic performance, strength recovery, any differences in going keto and now even more animal based relative to back in the day? I mean, digestive things, mood, cognition, any kind of changes with that stuff?
Oh yeah, my cognitively, I've felt a lot sharper. Ability to focus has gone through the roof. Like I remember when I first did keto and broke on through to the other side, I'm like, oh my God, it's like I discovered a cheat code, like if I need to, I can go to the office and I can literally like sit there the entire day, get all my work done without, eating anything, without getting up to do whatever. I can just have this laser focus on the task at hand and get stuff done. Which was amazing. My mood has been more stable, which I've absolutely loved. My skin has gotten a lot better, eating more sugar and carbohydrates back in the day. I have a breakout every once in a while. Now my skin is resilient in comparison. My hair is growing faster than it did. And I know that because back when I played college, I had hair a little bit longer than this. A couple years ago, I shaved my head entirely bald with a razor, and it grew back way faster than it had grown back then. My nails grow like crazy. So yeah, I've seen a lot of positive differences from eating this way.
Yeah, when you were back at USC, was there I mean, a lot of times I'm surprised because you see a lot of these athletes and they just eat garbage. I mean, it is McDonald's all day long and stuff like. Was that common there, or?
Surprisingly, yes, there were guys that were just absolute genetic beasts, and they could literally eat whatever they wanted and still just be extremely ripped, perform at the highest level. And, it's absolutely amazing. And I just think speaks to the resiliency and all the unknowns of the human body. someone like me who wasn't as genetically superior as some of these guys had to, focus on nutrition a little bit more to play at the best level possible. But we had some other guys too that were dialed in, working with the nutritionist, on a weekly basis, ordering special meals from a service that did like this all organic, like pinpointed your macros and everything. So I saw both sides of the spectrum there.
Yeah, I think that's because you see some of these people that they're high level athletes and they'll go on this sort of plant based kick, and it's usually, in my sort of view, it's usually these guys that are eating the junk food that are genetic outliers that go from eating a pure garbage diet to a not a pure garbage diet, and they say they feel a little better. But I think in the long term that ends up shortening their careers in many cases. You'd mentioned you eat some eggs. How many eggs are you eating? Because people say some people are worried about if you eat more than one egg a day or something like that. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh man, eat as many eggs as you like. That's my opinion. I mean, when I'm eating eggs, it's normally between 6 to 12 per meal. People always ask me, how many do you do a day on average? Like, I don't know what my average is. Like, maybe I'm out of eggs one day. Maybe I'm traveling. Like, maybe I just want to eat nothing but steak that day. But like today I had 6 for breakfast. I'll probably have 6 to 12 more throughout the day. Yesterday, I think I had like 18. I've done as high as 60 in a day. And like I said, my numbers have always been fine. So I really don't think there's a limit to it. I just think people are scared because of old false data, actually, funded by cereal industry or whatever, that, eggs are bad for you. Eat cereal instead.
Yeah, I mean, it's not uncommon for me to eat a dozen, 18, some days two dozen. I've never eaten 60. That's a pretty big amount there. Was that just the whole day of nothing but eggs, or was it just kind of interesting you'd eat 60 in one day?
So somebody was like comparing me to Gaston on Twitter and said, "Oh, you should do like the Gaston challenge." And said he ate 5 dozen eggs in a day. So I was like, okay. So I went, bought 5 dozen eggs and ate them by like 3 p.m. or something.
Yeah, I'm certainly you could do it. It's not, that's 60 eggs. It's, it's like 60 calories a pop. It's 3,600 calories. It's not that much. I mean, it's not calorically, it's not that much. I mean, so it's certainly doable.
Yeah. I was a pound less on the scale the next day.
Yeah, probably. So I mean, but like I said, I could certainly see doing it. It's just I don't know. I like to eat steak too much to just eat nothing but eggs all day. There's some people that are out there I know there's a guy out there talking about, eggs are going to give you vitamin A toxicity, and I just think more or less that doesn't seem to hold up. I'm not seeing anybody developing that. I mean, I know a lot of people eat a lot of eggs, and it seems to be. Yeah. Seems to be fine for most people. There are some people that don't tolerate them. And it is quite fair to say that a lot of people have egg sensitivities. That's true.
Yeah.